UFC 312 just happened a couple days ago, or not a couple days ago. What did I say that? Just yesterday night, and I wanted to talk about the results. Well, actually, I just wanted to talk about one fight because the card was so trash that I don't even want to talk about any other fight besides the main event, and that's gonna be about Strickland versus Du Plessis. Man, that was such an impressive outing from Dricus Du Plessis, right? I mean, 5 rounds to 0. That's incredible if you think about it. I didn't think that Dricus was actually going to be that good. And I can't tell if it's because Dricus just figured out Sean's game plan, if Sean was a worse fighter that day, because Sean did have staff, or if Dricus just leveled up his career so good where he's taking out Sean, like, just like that, 5 rounds, man. I didn't give him 1 round, and I actually wanted to make an immediate post-fight reaction, but unfortunately I was at a party yesterday, and I didn't really have the time to do it. So now I'm talking about it. And I guess another thing that I want to talk about too is who does Dricus Du Plessis fight next? Who do you fight next after that outing? And, he was saying on the mic that he wants to fight Alex Pereira, fight Alex Pereira. But afterwards in the post-fight interview, he said what we all wanted to hear. And everybody wants to see this fight. I want to see it. Your grandma probably even wants to see this fight. And that's Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. No one's beating Chimaev in the middleweight division as of now, besides Dricus, in my opinion. And the reason why I think that is because Dricus is so strong, so big for the division, that the only person that I think can handle Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling, grappling, and might be able to deny his takedowns is Dricus Du Plessis. It recently came out that Dricus weighs around 228, 232 pounds out of camp. That's huge. That's huge for a middleweight. That's almost Paulo Costa size. I think Costa's still the biggest middleweight. Might be the same size or just slightly bigger. But Costa is huge. I always thought Costa, if his arms weren't so short and he didn't have that fighting style, then he would have been great at light heavyweight. But man, 232 pounds. I don't know how much Chimaev weighs, but I know it's damn well not as big. I know Chimaev's probably 210, 215 max. That's like a 20-pound difference almost if he is 215. That's like a 17-pound difference. That's doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, it is. It is in the middleweight division. And, when I think about that fight, Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, I get excited, man. I really do. I mean, you have Undefeated Prospect, Phenom when it comes to grappling, And even though he's had competitive fights with a 155er in Gilbert Burns, and he's had a former 155er in Gilbert Burns, and he's had a competitive fight with Kamaru Usman at middleweight. One thing you have to realize, too, is that, skill sets get worse the more weight you go up. So someone like Gilbert was given issues to the whatchamacall. He was given issues to Khamzat because of his top-notch Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's ADC level. Very good. And he was having issues with Usman because Usman just has really good grappling. But you have to remember, too, in the first round of the Khamzat Chimaev fight with Usman, then Usman almost actually got submitted. So his grappling is really good if he's able to deny Usman. And even though it was Usman out of his prime, it wasn't prime Usman, that's still very impressive. It's very impressive. It's not a bad feat at all. And styles make matches. Sorry, camera was shaking. Styles make matches. And there is a stylistic matchup right now. Right now, I think Khamzat is a better stylistic matchup for Dricus than Dricus is for Khamzat, I think his grappling is just really good. But if you ask me, that fight's a 50-50. That fight is a 50-50. I don't think Khamzat is going to run over Dricus. Unless he's really good, and we just underestimated him. Another thing that you have to think, too, is that fighters get better, usually as they age in the older divisions. Middleweight, usually in middleweight, it's not like 170 and under where you hit 35 and you're suddenly not in your prime anymore. No, it's not like that. In the middleweight division, you can hit your prime later, or you can be out of your prime later. You can be out of your prime as late as 38, 37, instead of just instantly hitting like an invisible wall around the age of 35. Because 35, 34 is usually when the fighters fall off. And you guys know about the 170 and under curse. The only person that's beaten it is just fighters at 170. Even though they're not the majority at 170, that's the only weight class that gets beaten at. Especially Bilal Muhammad now at 36 years old. Can't wait for him to get beat by Shavkat. Anyways, I just think that fight is something we all need to see. I want to see Dricus try to see if he can beat this undefeated guy, and I want to see him add to his legacy. Dricus went from a meme fighter. He went to a meme fighter, and I was making fun of him. I was saying, like, man, this guy got taken down by Derek Brunson. And not only that, like, he got reverse takedown. He went for a takedown, and instead of getting a takedown, he got taken down. Like, he rose someone up from the ground, but he couldn't, like, lift him higher to push him on their back, and instead he was on his back. And I was like, man, Dricus is a fucking, like, Tom and Jerry cartoon. And then, like, you go with the Darren Till fight, and, like, realistically, Till should have beat him. But then, like, he didn't. And I know that Dricus had a problem with his nose. Dricus said he couldn't breathe properly out of his nose, and that's one of the main reasons he was fighting so bad. And, I agree, because after he got nose surgery, he went on to fight Robert Whittaker, and, he just manhandled Whittaker. And, like, I guess, like, he kind of became, like, a meme, like, nose-breathing Dricus, mythical fighter right there. Undefeated. Nose-breathing Dricus is undefeated, man. And you look at his wins, and they're really good right now. You have Whittaker, Adesanya, Strickland twice. Those are 4 really good wins, all right? Those are all former champions. That's very good wins. Those are very good. And now if you add Khamzat Chimaev potentially to his next win, that's very good, man. Like, I seriously think, check it out. You beat Khamzat. If you do beat him, super good win. Very amazing win. You beat Khamzat. You beat Caio, you beat Imamov. I think you can make the argument he's the middleweight GOAT. I think with 3 more wins, he's the middleweight GOAT, maybe. Because just look at the competition. That's better than Anderson's competition, Anderson Silva's competition. It's a lot better, actually. It's not a joke. And then you look and compare it to Israel Adesanya's competition. That's better, too. I mean, Israel Adesanya's, like, record isn't really amazing when it came to his middleweight title defenses, man. Like Jarrett Cannonier, Marvin Vettori, Paulo Costa, Whittaker. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's still good, but it's not amazing. You guys know what I mean? Like, there's not really former champs in his resume besides Whittaker. That's the thing. I mean, Dricus has the chance to become middleweight GOAT. If he beats Khamzat, then I think nobody's beating him for a while. That's the thing. And I would love to see it. I would love to see Dricus actually become middleweight GOAT, because it'd be fucking hilarious seeing someone go from a meme fighter, like everyone's cracking jokes about him, to becoming the middleweight GOAT. All right? That would be hilarious, and I'm all for it. I'm all for that, Oh, and not only that, he said he wants to move up to light heavyweight and potentially fight Alex Pereira. Can you imagine if Dricus actually went for double champ status and actually beat Alex Pereira? Now, I don't think he's going to beat him. And I think there's a good chance that after Ankalaev, Pereira's going to try to move up to middleweight to challenge Tom Aspinall, most likely. Because I think John Jones isn't going to fight, and Tom is just going to be promoted to undisputed champ. And, if Alex Pereira wins a heavyweight belt, I think he's probably just going to leave the 205 belt alone. And then, like, you're going to do a vacant belt, probably like Yuri versus DDP. Dricus Du Plessis, and that's a fight that I would like to see, honestly. That would be a very fun fight to see, like 2 of the craziest styles in the UFC. Man, that's something I'm excited to see. I would love to see that. But there's a lot of possibilities about Dricus' career choice and what can happen to his career. And, I'm saying, man, next fight, Chimaev. We got to do that fight. We got to do it. We can't miss it. But it's a bit of a bummer knowing that we're probably going to have to wait until October to get that fight. That's going to be probably 8 months from now. I don't think we're going to get it in summer, or we're probably going to get it late fall. It would be cool if we got it around, like, summertime, like July, 5 months from now, instead of waiting until October. Because I'm a fan of active champions, man. I'm not a fan of guys that wait out and don't fight that often. I've always been one of those guys where I prefer people that fight often, especially as champions. Someone like Alex Pereira is my ideal type of fighter. Someone that just fights 3 times a year. Especially a champion, fighting 3 times a year. That's not that often. It really isn't. But that's it for this video, guys. I just want to talk about, like, Dricus' future opponent, who should he fight next, like what his career choice can be like, or his career accolades can be like in a couple years if he does beat Chimaev. And, I'm really looking forward to it. Middleweight right now is exciting. A lot of contenders. You got Chimaev, Imamov, Braujo. And I don't know what you do with Strickland. I think with Strickland, you pair him up with Whittaker. I think you pair him up with Whittaker right now, maybe. You have to see, you know. You have to see what's going down in the middleweight division. And it's just a lot of fun going down. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys like the video, then, you know, I appreciate it if you subscribe or like or comment. It helps out a lot for the channel. And if you don't want to, then that's fine. It doesn't matter. Anyways, see you in the next video, guys.